Good evening. Happy Friday. I hope y'all have had a great week this week. We have had fabulous weather. It's just been really pretty and nice. I've actually been able to open my doors and windows a little bit. But I am Julie with Creations by Julie. I go live, for now, every Tuesday and Friday nights. My granddaughter made junior high cheerleader last night, so when football season starts, I'll have to change the Tuesday nights because that's when she'll be cheering. But we've got a while till then, and I may decide to go like one night, do a night, and then go during the day one time. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this Friday night. I appreciate just you taking the time to spend a little time with us. Let's see, what else was I going to tell you before we start drawing names and see who wins. This was from Tuesday night. The freebie tonight is going to be two of these little craft bunnies, little wood bunnies that you can decoupage, you can paint, you can do a lot of different things with
Brenda
them.
Bracken says you says it can't hear you very
Can't
well.
hear me very well. Okay, well I think it's that first one, not the second one. I'll try to talk a little louder. Is that better, Brenda?
It was always the top.
Yeah, if you can't hear me, we'll have to double check the settings, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have the microphone turned off or anything. Is that better? Anyway, one of the freebies too is this cute little bunny.
Sheila says, James says, do you sell your items?
The items I make, yes ma'am, I have an Etsy shop. When the video's over, just go back to my page and click on the Shop Now button and it takes you straight to Etsy. I think pretty much everything I've made in the last couple of months is already on the Etsy shop. There are a few things. I have a napkin bundle, but I don't have the little shelf sitter with the bunny rabbit that I made last week on there yet. But anyway, the freebie for tonight is this little napkin, which you actually would get 4 projects out of it, and these 2 little bunnies. And we always start by throwing them in the floor, I guess. Let's see if I can reach it. Got it. Want to make sure that gets back in there. Add picks, and this was from the live on Tuesday night. If you spread the love and you placed the video from Tuesday on your page and invited your friends to like and follow my page, and then came back here, and our keyword last week was bunny. So let's see who wins the bunnies.
Jeannie Smith.
Jeannie, congratulations. I will get those in the mail to you. If you're wondering how you get your name in the pot, it's simple. Like I said, you just do this and spread the love, and SHARE. Facebook does not like us to use that word, but we say spread the love. There's always a key phrase for the giveaways, and it's usually connected with what it is that I'm giving away. So for everybody who spreads the love tonight, it's just real hard not to say SHARE, because that's what you're doing. You touch that little button down there, it actually puts this video on your page for your friends to come view it. So I decided what I wanted to do is give away a set of these cute little bunny and eggs. Can you not see it? Which way does it need to go?
That's what.
Okay. Now this one I've already done. The giveaway is going to be white, and that way you can decoupage on them. I just did some scrapbook paper, and then I always try to make my things very versatile. So I actually did some stencils on the other side. These are not in my Etsy shop yet, but I've done several sets of these. So I thought that would be part of our giveaway for tonight. So the keyword for these little shelf sitters, and they're perfect for a tier tray, is going to be Easter. So once you have spread the love and place this video on your homepage, come back to this video and put in the word Easter. That tells me that you SHARE. If I'm not friends with you on Facebook, sometimes Facebook doesn't tell me. So I go by who has placed it in the comment section. You can do it as many times as you want to. We will draw, or I will cut off the names about 3 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, and I'll take all those that have shared and put your names in the cup, and then we'll draw Tuesday for these. And keyword again, Easter. Okay? All right, I'll get those out of the way. Can you get those in? Oops. Tonight, you're actually going to see something for the first time. We're going to turn the camera a little bit. I have never made a grapevine wreath at my kitchen table. So you're going to get to see it for the first time. I always use it in the utility room where I can hang it up, and I like to design with me looking straight on at it. But I'm going to try to do it here at the table because, trust me, you don't want to go into my utility room. And there's really no good way to film in there because I have it hanging. I have a bunch of wooden shelves that I have all my candle making stuff on, and it's just a nail on one of those shelves right about eye level, and I'm facing a wall. So, I mean, you'd see my back. So we're going to try to do this one kind of from the side view. I'm going to get up and go to the side, and Ed's going to kind of zoom in and focus a little bit on the red mat and the wreath. Okay? So we'll give him a few minutes to do that.
Oh, I'm done.
Oh, I got to get my glue skillet over here where I can reach it. And for those of you that are wondering, I always, and don't judge me by my glue skillet, I always use my glue skillet when I'm doing a grapevine because it just makes it so much easier, and you'll see. You don't have to have a glue skillet. That's just one of those luxury items I was telling you about. You can use your glue gun to do this. And y'all can't see it, but I have a huge box of greenery. I might could move it over here. I have a huge box of greenery and flowers. And I do that because I'm not ever sure exactly what I'm going to use for my grapevines. It's just kind of designed until I like it. But we'll start with the grapevines. I have already cleaned this one and put the hanger on it. But I will tell you a couple of things about grapevines. Don't ever just order them from Michael's. I have to see my grapevines and put my hands on it and check it out. Last year, maybe even year before last, I ordered 10 from Michael's, and y'all, I think they sent me the ugliest, dirtiest grapevines they had. They just threw them in a box, and the box was full of leaves and just trash. And it actually, normally I enjoy doing grapevines, but it got to the point I dreaded it because it would take me 2 hours to clean the grapevine.
Judy Smith wants to know what temperature you got your glue skillet on.
All the way over. I'm not sure, as hot as it'll go because I forgot to turn it on earlier. And I never clean my glue skillet. I just, as it gets warm, take bits and pieces and put back in there, the strings and everything. But you can see it's just really messy down here, but I don't want to burn myself. But it's all the way over. I'm not real sure, to tell you the truth.
All right. Yvonne Henry said,
It looks like...
hello.
Hi, Yvonne. Thank you for joining in. I had asked Yvonne to join my live and kind of give me some tips because I'm so new at it. But one thing, you know, Yvonne, I like them to see the wreath and not my face. So usually once we get our giveaway taken care of, I try to get Ed to zoom in on the project itself, and especially tonight. And I'm doing it from this angle, so hopefully y'all can see what I do. But the glue skillet, again, is just something that's a luxury. It's not one of the tools I talked about you really needed to be able to be a wreath maker. But the grapevine, you want to clean it good. And what I mean by that, and you'll notice this one doesn't now. It still has a few of the little curly things, and you want that because that's just part of a grapevine. But what you don't want is all these areas to be full of trash and leaves. So I take mine outside, and I take the plier things. What are they called, Ed?
Dikes.
Dikes. Wire cutters is what I call them. And I just cut off and you'd be surprised I actually found this one at Hobby Lobby, and I handpicked it because I liked the size and it wasn't nasty. You also want to run your fingers across it because you don't want huge knots on the back, anything that would scratch a customer's door. The ones I got from Michael's a couple of years ago, there were some of them it would have huge knots on this side and huge knots on this side. You can handle the knots on one side because you can cover them, but you can't do both. And what I would do is take big magnolia leaves and I would cover the whole back with leaves. So that is one way you can get around it. But hand pick your grapevines. Once you get it cleaned, I use this rope wire from Hobby Lobby, and I don't have much of it left. And that's how I fix the hanger for my grapevine. And you just want to go in between several of the pretty good size limbs and to where it will hold really tight. Then you want to, well, first before you put your top on it, you want to make sure you've got it the shape that you want. So you find like any big knots, because you know you can cover them up. See, there's one right there, but I know my greenery is going to come up through there, so that'll be okay. And I like this shape because of the sign that I have chosen. 90% of my grapevines are pretty much all designed the same way. You don't have to do it that way. There again, wreath making is a choice, and it's what you like to do. I like my signs over on the right side, my right, and then I like to put a bow across from it and do my greenery all the way around. This one I decided, because I'm going to use this pretty Easter sign, and it says He is risen.
Turn it this way where you can read it.
Okay, add punches holes wherever I decide I want them. And I decided to use wire with this one for two reasons. I want them to be able to find the wire and clip it off after Easter. So then you've just got a pretty wreath, and could be used for months once Easter's over. What I do, I design my grapevines the same way I design my deco mesh wreaths. I start with my sign, then I pick ribbon, and I don't put a whole lot of ribbon, I just put a bow. With the mesh wreaths, we were doing ribbon tails and all that other. So I usually, and 9 times out of 10, I'll do a very simple bow, because like this, I don't want a whole lot interfering with it. And then your flowers, you want one big flower that's going to be your main flower, and I chose these lilies. Now they are the expensive ones, and I realize you're really paying a lot for the real looking stem. But I wanted, because of Easter, I wanted something fairly big for my wreath. And you do it in sets of 3. Like you wouldn't put 4 of these probably. Usually you go with odd numbers. So I had to get 2 stems of them, and I'll tell you they were $6, but y'all know I got them half price. I don't buy flowers or ribbon or anything unless it's half price. So I start with, usually my base is the ficus leaves. But the first thing I want to do is put my sign, well, I think I put my sign on first. And I'm going to use another tool that is just a luxury. You don't have, it's called a my buddy, or something like that. For anybody who's interested, I'll put the link if you PM me. But you could use a needle, like we've used like for the stuffed pumpkins. You just want something to make it easier to go through your grapevine. See, this grapevine's not real thick, and this is wire, so I might not even need it. But I'm telling you, if you use pipe cleaners, I have had to fight grapevines. But you could use a knife and stick through there. You could use needle nose pliers and come up from the bottom to where you can grab your pipe cleaner or whatever. But I know this is my top, and I know I don't want my sign straight, but I want it straight enough that it can be read. So that's why the holes are not exactly in the middle. But let me see if I can run it through there. without using that piece. By it being a wire, like I said, and I used the wire because I didn't want a very big hole up here, and I think I can cover this a little bit with greenery. So just get your wire through. You don't want to go around the edge because you don't want anybody to see that wire. So I'm just going to put it through there, and that wire was stiff enough I didn't have to use the buddy. So I just twist it a little bit, and then I'm going to go down here and run these through. I usually like to put my sign on first because that helps me with where I want to place my greenery. If y'all are late getting on, our key word for tonight is Easter. For your chance to win the little bunny and the egg. And we'll draw on Tuesday. Okay, so now this one's not going in as easy. And Jeannie Smith won the little bunnies and the napkin from last week. I think that little tiered sign that I did with that one bunny is probably my favorite napkin that I've decoupaged. Okay.
Brenda Bracken said, "Love your sign. Miss where you bought it."
Let me double check the back side. It's personally yours. It's Lee. And I will, if you want me to, I'll put the link. I've got it in one of my other videos, but I'll put it at the top. But yeah, it is a very pretty sign. But she has a Facebook page, but she also has her own store, and it's personal Lee, L-E-E, yours, Wreath, or Wreath signs. But I'll post a link to it. And now I'm having trouble. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know me, there's always something. Last week, y'all got to see Ed's face again.
Sure they wanted him press.
All right, now that I've got them both back there, I'm just going to kind of twist them pretty tight. And then I'm not going to do anything till the end, just in case I want to move it up or down. So I didn't need our little buddy. This will make it easy for the customer to find the sign and just clip the wire. Okay. There. He's on there good. All right, then I said I like to do, like my bow's going to be right here, so I'm going to start my greenery and go this way. And I'm going to get my moss out just a little bit. All right, I like to start, most of mine, my base is these ficus leaves. You can use the whole thing if you want to and curl it, which I probably will to start with anyway. And hopefully I can cut these. I may need your big, there's one, I got that one. I think this is one of the bigger vines. And you just kind of start by clipping off a bunch of them. All right, I know I'm going to put one of those. I believe these are the bigger bushes. They are. They're the ones from Hobby Lobby, and they're $3.99 normally. They used to have the smaller ones. I don't know if they still do. That were just like $1.99. All right, so, but you can bend them. You can cut these separately if you wanted to. I'm probably going to put 2 of these. Of course, I hate the fact that Hobby Lobby puts their, let me get my scissors. Oh, I know you want to use a knife. I'm not going to use a knife. Let me get my scissors. You just have to go up and under there and get that. I don't know why they can't put their price stickers on the bottom. Okay. So So I'm going to use this whole one probably too. But this is just my, and I don't glue it in yet. Okay, that's good. But you can use the small individual pieces. With a grapevine wreath, it's kind of like a mesh wreath in the fact that you build it. And sometimes I go back and I add just, you know, just to be sure they're not going to move anywhere, I'll put a little wire on them. Okay, I think that's going to be, and see, then I might go back, find one that I really like that's bigger than that. Let's see. A lot of little ones coming off, but that's okay. Grapevine used to be my favorite wreath to make, but since shipping has gotten so expensive, I don't want it to cover my sign for sure. Shipping has gotten so expensive. Grapevines are larger than a regular wreath usually. I do not do a whole lot of the whispery flowers and stuff that, I mean, I love it, but it's too hard to ship. All right, see, I think this will give me a pretty good start, my base. So, let me get these glued down. I'm going to start with the one here. And it just makes it a lot easier when you can just dip it in your glue skillet and put it in there. And push it on down in there. Now this, I can come back and adjust that, because that would be good for it to be right there. All right, so then I'll do this one. These ficus leaves just make a really good base. Then you'll add all your other stuff. Now see, this one, I am going to take a little bit of a wire, just a really thin wire, and tie that one on. You will not see it when the wreath is done, but it keeps it laying down flat. And you just pick one little vine, and just twist it a couple of times. 26 gauge, yeah. And put it back in there and it will not be seen. Now, if you wanted to use your glue gun, I've got mine hooked up, but like to get that to lay down, I could do that, but I think the next one that I put in might make it lay down anyway. And you're going to have other things on top of it. Okay. And I'll give you a little tip. If you're when you're using the hot glue, you don't want to get it on the leaves like I just did, but we'll cut those. Let's see, let me pull that out. I could run that under that stem right there, and that'll hold it down a little bit better. And I'm just going to cut that leaf off. Actually, I'm going to cut that whole thing off. If you get glue, nobody wants to see a bunch of glue. So you just take a little bit of moss and put over that glue. And you can't see the other. And we don't want this covering, but we'll work on that later. And in fact, I'll take a little bit of wire right now and tie that. Do y'all have any questions so far about purchasing the grapevine or cleaning the grapevine? I will go back and look at all the comments and answer any questions you have. And of course now I can't get it to go through. I'm telling y'all, I'm not used to standing up and bending over to do this. I've just always found that it's easier to have it in the eye view.
She's like a little kid. She spends hours and hours facing a wall.
I do. Especially when I'm working on grapevines. This is the first grapevine I've made in a while. I really like to take my Amazing Grace signs and do grapevines with them. But, you know, a grapevine's going to weigh more than another wreath. I think it takes a bigger box.
Teresa Hughes says you're doing a great job.
Thanks, Teresa. I'm definitely out of my comfort zone. I probably will put a little bit of glue or something there at the end because I don't, well, that's not covering it too much. Okay, now let's work on the bottom. Anyway, shipping, I think the last grapevine I shipped out cost something like, and it was it was FedEx, and it was like $33 because you pretty much have to put them in a 24-inch box, and they weigh more than a regular wreath. And, you know, if you were to do it through the post office, it would cost $50. And that's just ridiculous. So I try not to put a whole bunch of stuff all spread out on them. I mean, if you're making it for yourself and your front door, that's great. Put a little bit more moss right there. But not to ship them. It just is so expensive. Okay, now I know I want that little bit right there covered to get my wire covered on the sign. But this is not the only greenery I'm going to add. But I do my other greenery after I get my flowers in place. It really doesn't take that long to do a grapevine. I just have a tendency sometimes to just keep adding and keep adding and keep adding till I have to say, no, that's enough. Okay, so I've got my base. I probably will come up a little bit more here. Let's find a good one. Because my bow's going to go about right here. But you definitely could use your glue gun. Even with the glue skillet, you're going to get these little glue spiders. And that's okay. Cover up that little bit of glue. All right. All right, the next thing I do is make my bow because I want to be able to put some greenery in and around my bow. So I couldn't decide between these two ribbons. I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to keep it nothing that meant Easter. And my big flowers are going to be the white ones. And then the smaller flowers are going to be these yellow. And then my filler flowers are going to be the lavender and the white.
Do you remember you can't always see that?
I know, that's okay. They'll see them when I get them up here. So, I love this ribbon. I think I'm going to go with it because it looks good with the sign and it will look pretty, I believe. I'm afraid this is too cream up against the white flowers. So, let me get my zip tie. And I'm just going to hand make my bow because you just want it to be light and airy. he thinks he has to whisper. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, Brenda, can you hear me better? Am I talking loud enough? All right, I want some tails hanging down, and I don't know for sure how long, but I would rather cut them too long and trim them. You can't add to. So I cut my tails first, and then I don't know if I can bend down enough for y'all to see how I make the bow. I want 4 tails, so I'm actually going to start.
I can come up.
No, that's okay, because that's when things happen. Okay, I'm going to start with the smallest, because when you hand do, you pinch it. I don't know what I did.
Run it back and says yes.
Okay, you bend it, and twist, and then I just kind of check, see if they're the same size. And then you're going to squeeze it together and twist it. I usually hand do all my bows for my grapevines. I don't know why. Because they don't have to be perfect. And then same thing, I'm just building it. Make your loop. You can kind of guess. Pinch it in the middle and twist. And if you're wondering, this came from Craft Outlet, this ribbon. And it is one of my favorites. Okay, I'm going to do another one. Twist. And we'll fix it now once we get it on the wreath. Or you can do it sideways, or I usually do this way, so I'm going to do probably one more. So it would be like 4 loops. I want each one to, the last one to be a little bit larger.
Karen Boyd Hunter says very pretty side.
Yeah.
And bow.
Thanks. All right, then I'm going to twist this last one so that my tails are pretty close to the same length. And then what I'm going to do is pick up the tails that I made, put them in the very back, and they'll go down. And then I'm going to take a zip tie and go in between my fingers and get it started with a zip tie. It just holds it so much better. But you don't want to zip tie it all the way, because, keep your finger there, because what you're going to do is here in the back, you're going to put your pipe cleaner in through there, like that. Okay, and then you finish zipping it up. Now you could, I'm going to put like some greenery in the middle, so I'm not going to worry too much about being able to see that clear zip tie right there. Then just take it and pull it. Then we'll fluff it at the very end too, but just so you pull all your tails down. Okay, and then I'm going to cut off that zip tie. All right, then I'm going to take my pipe cleaners, and I want my bow going this way. So I'm just going to go down through the grapevine, and once you've cleaned it, this is a pretty good grapevine. If I must say so myself, I cleaned it pretty good, so it's not full of trash there. And just as I say that, that one doesn't want to go through. But if I use my tool, what you do is you put it through from the bottom, about where you want it, run your pipe cleaner through it, then pull it back and take it off. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over. And see, you don't come through the edges because you don't want to see, but you pull that tight.
You can pull bows on grapevines tight, tighter than you do on mesh wreaths because, and I'm not going to clip anything off yet, because you don't have to worry about squishing your mesh. And then I'm not through. I just wanted to get the bow going so I know where to place my flowers. And we're going to put some greenery around the bow too. Okay. If you go too big with the bow, it kind of takes away from your sign. But yet this bow's plenty big enough when they want to take the sign off. Okay, now we're going to start. You start with your large flowers first. And I'm not going to use any of these leaves or anything, but I'm not going to throw them away either. I believe I could just cut these off.
Use a knife. That cut you.
Okay, and I believe I'm going to do 3 big ones. I have a little leftover bud thing, but I think I want, we'll see when I get them on there.
Brenda Bracken wanted to know what that was called, and I think she's talking about your little deal.
You know, I'll put the link. I want to say I bought it on Etsy from J. Marie Designs, and it's called a Wreath Buddy, I believe is what it was called. I think, because I couldn't remember where I bought it. I've had it several years. It's like $7.50. And if you search Etsy for, let's see, what did I finally end up finding it under? Grapevine tool, I believe, metal tool. I believe is how I found it.
You
All
can
right,
take any piece of aluminum and drill holes in
you
it.
can use, you know, a needle. All right, one thing about when you're placing flowers, you don't want them all straight up and down. And usually, I do 2 at the bottom and 1 at the top. Sometimes you don't want to forget under your bow. We'll trim all that later. But I don't glue any of my flowers until I've got them exactly where I want them. This one, there seems to be more room at the bottom. All right, then my middle size flower, I believe, are going to be just these little yellow, I don't know what kind of flower they are. But I'm just going to clip off maybe 5 of them. I think I got them at the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree or Walmart. I didn't want anything big, but I wanted something to bring out the yellow. And I may change my mind. That's why I don't glue anything in. And one thing too about a grapevine, once you get it done, you want to hold it up and look at it from the side because you probably want to go back and fill with some greenery on the side. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if, those may be too big. I'm not sure I like those yet. I might want maybe just 1. I may not want 2 on a little thing because I don't want a lot of yellow. What do y'all think? What do you think, Brenda? And I'm going to go back and put more greenery and stuff in these places because I'm going to add some lavender too. I just wanted a hint of yellow. And to me, these looked a little bit like lilies. I may leave those 2 there. And I may leave that 2.
Beautiful, she says.
Those 2 there. I think in a couple of places, I want to just go with 1. Let's see. You could spend hours. Now I know this looks bare, and I'm gonna put some greenery there. I don't know that I'm gonna put this kind of greenery though. But I might should keep it the same right there. That doesn't have a wire in it, so we're just gonna glue it. And when it doesn't have wire, it doesn't want to go down in there. Okay. Then for the smaller flower, basically it's called a filler flower, but I'm gonna wait. I also have this. I'm gonna wait on the little filler flower until I put some more greenery on here. So I think I like the yellow and the white, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue those. And I just kind of hold my finger where it was, put it in the glue, and push it in there. And then I'll do the yellow one. Sometimes it's real hard to get it back in exactly where you had it. But I don't know if y'all can tell, but with a glue skillet, you can get a little bit more glue. Of course, you get glue strings, and y'all know how to get rid of glue strings, don't you? You just take your hairdryer and run over it. Of course, sometimes it don't want to go down in the same spot. I want that one hanging down that way a little bit. This is how I get all kinds of stuff in my glue skillet. And I never run totally out of glue, so therefore I never clean the glue skillet. And believe it or not, the glue skillet really does save your hands.
Do it one-handed.
Okay, let's go this way now. You know, when you're designing, you can put as much, or as little as you like. Some people like them really, really full.
Karen wants to know what kind of glue you use for a glue skillet.
I put the same glue sticks that I use for my glue gun, Gorilla Glue. I just put you can buy the littler ones, but I just put, my sticks are probably, what, 5 inches?
Yeah.
Something like that. I just put them down in the glue skillet and let them melt. And you know, it doesn't matter if your flowers, you want flowers all the way around and all different things, so it doesn't matter that they just are playing peekaboo.
She says it is a special skillet.
Well, this one is called a glue skillet. I've heard people use just the regular little bitty electric skillets from Walmart. But I've had this one forever and ever and ever. Okay, y'all, I just pulled out all kinds of greenery for my filler. I've got this lamb's ear, because you want to get different shades. I actually bought it as a garland. So, I don't know if, like I said, I just get started and I don't know. I kind of like that different shade of green. Just a few of them. And with the, I had a couple of loose pieces, I guess I've done used them. With the garland, you can just cut off They don't pull loose, so it's basically cut them off. Okay, I'm gonna put one. Oh.
She said that, Brenda says that goes with your sign,
Mm-hmm.
blends it.
Well, lamb's ear is good to use at Easter too. So let's see. And I apologize, y'all. You know I don't like my lives to be longer than an hour. But you know, when you sometimes it takes longer than that if you're going to design the wreath. And usually what I do with my grapevines, I'll get them until it's like, okay, I'm tired, and then I'll walk away and come back an hour later and look at it and say, okay, I want to add this and this and this and this. Okay.
That's the reason she hangs them in the utility.
Yeah, I can just leave them and walk away. And of course, I don't think your number 3 and odd numbers, that it doesn't go with your greenery. You just do what you want to do. But I just want little spots of that. And I've got several other kinds. Let me get one in here. So it's kind of like once you get your sign and your base and your bow, you just add and add and add until you're like, okay, that's enough. But you want to make sure, like, around your bow has something. You don't want to see the grapevine under there. And it helps hold your bow up. So I'm going to put some of that under there. All right. I've also got this. And this, whatever it is. This almost looks too winter with that color, so I may go with little bits of this and the lavender.
She says I like it, it softens it a little.
Mm-hmm. And when you start, this is what you call a filler. So it pretty much is towards the, oh, I didn't glue in the lamb's ear, did I?
No.
Okay, let me glue in the lamb's ear before I add filler. And then I also have a few sprigs of this lavender that I think I'm going to use. And I may or I may not, oh, I've got this under here. I think that's too big. It's pretty. I may not, but I may just add a couple of them. But I'm for sure going to mix in a little bit of this lavender. Okay, let me find my lamb's ear and get it glued in. This wreath will be in my Etsy shop next week sometime, as soon as I can get pictures. And y'all, I think it's the last Easter wreath that I'm going to do. I think I have about 6 or 7 in there, and that's enough. And I always, when I get through and before I take pictures, go through and kind of pull on things to make sure. I know, but I'm trying to go around so I don't forget. Or did I do that one? No. And I'm leaving the little nubs on them so it makes it easier to catch something. I don't want to get it on my ribbon. This one probably will not be seen, but it helps perk the bow up. I thought I put one right here, yeah. I didn't put one there, but I may. All right, put one up here. All right, I see a little glue there, so do our little moss thing, because I don't want to see the glue. All right, I've really squished my bow. Okay, now let's see about some of the little white. And I don't know if I'll do those or not. We'll see. I'm just going to cut off a bunch of these little white parts. Try to leave a little bit of stem to make it easier to glue them. And I don't usually count. I just clip and put on. Okay, let's start with these. I got one there. Gonna put one there. One there. Here. See, when it's laying down on the table, I can't see the edges. So that's one thing, when I hang it up, I can tell if I need to add flowers and stuff back there, which I will do that tomorrow. I may go back in and add some things once I hang it up to where I can see that it needs something else. One thing I didn't mention, when you're doing a grapevine, you kind of want your flowers to flow all in the same direction. Like from my bow up, you want them to flow that way. From my bow down, I've got them flowing this way. And like I said, 90% of my grapevines are done with the sign over here. But you want all this to be pretty enough that it's pretty without the sign. If you advertise it, that you know that you can take the sign off. And y'all know me, I try to do all my stuff where it's very versatile, and I want people to feel like they've gotten a good value. That's why most of my shelf sitters are reversible and have two sides. All right, let me just kind of hold that up for a second. No, you don't have to change the camera. Okay, I can tell I definitely will need to do some adding right here. But you can use different greenery to bring out different colors. Don't know that I want to add this, but let's see. You have different shades. Well, see, that just gives a little bit different type of greenery and helps fill in a blank spot. I could go back and fill it in with the ficus leaves. And I don't know what this greenery is called. It's from Hobby Lobby. It just says Hobby Lobby, but I've had this bush, it was like $14, but I got it half off. But I've had it forever. And I've used it several times on different things. Okay, let's see. And when you've got pieces like this that you break into pieces, remember last week I told y'all to add a little bit of glue at the top. Like, see, these would just pull right off. Can you see that? So what I'm going to do is just stick that end down in there, push my piece up to where it almost touches, and set it aside for a minute. Same with this one. It keeps it from pulling off your stem. Okay, I'm gonna leave those sitting there for a minute. Because if you do from the top like this, you can take part of it down and get part of it up. that piece came off altogether. I have a tub of greenery and I just go through it when that's the only time I use it is on my grapevines. You know, Nick talks about putting your greenery all around in your bow, especially if it's not the 2.5-inch ribbon. You can stick little things of greenery all in there. Like these could be all up and under your bow to make your bow pop. I usually do that at the very last. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I just need to know how many I need to glue. I think I'm going to put one here, kind of a big piece, to pull that out just a little bit. And you see what I mean about going with the flow? I put it from this way down. Okay, did I glue? I did not glue my fillers. I think I said because I was going to wait. Let me get the big green pieces first. Really and truly, y'all, I'm almost done with this. It will just be fixing this once I hang it up and piddling with it until I get it exactly the way I want to. But I hope I've at least shown you the method to do it and some things to think about. Okay, I'm going to do this one. And you can see why sometimes a grapevine is more expensive when you start adding up what you put in it. But I don't like a thin looking grapevine. I want my grapevine to be full. But this, I will put in my Etsy shop as you being able to take the sign off. Now some of these glue strings, I'll just run my hairdryer and it'll get them off. But you'll be able to take the sign off and use it for several more months. Okay, let's see. I'll save that for later. Now let's go back and do the white. And my back is hurting. But I knew I couldn't do this sitting down. Usually the little greenery and the little things to my bow is the very last thing I do. Because I usually don't know what I want to put in the bow or do with it. Sometimes I don't put anything, sometimes I just put one thing in the middle. That one acted like it was already glued down. It was just caught. You can tell your little fillers and stuff, they do not have the thicker wire in them. You could take the time to put them on like a florist pick if you wanted to, but you usually can get them to do what you want them to. I'm trying to hurry, but the glue is driving me crazy. Yeah. I'm not sure that's where I got that one, but that's where it's going back. Okay, I think all I'm going to do now is add a few wisps of the lavender. I'm actually gonna, see my scissors? Alright, let's try this. I'm actually gonna cut this one off. I don't like it way down there. Okay, now let's do the lavender. I'm gonna have a mess here to clean up when I get done. Just like you did before, just cut off a few of them. These don't move, so you've got some here at the top. It's gonna be bigger. Let's wait on those. Do we still have anybody watching, or they give up on us?
Well, we got more now here.
Y'all just wanting to see what it turns out, huh? See if I can pull it together. But I believe this will be my last. This will be my last Easter wreath for this year. But I knew I had to do one on Grapevine, and I had to do one with the He is Risen sign.
Karen Hunnett says still here.
Good. Thanks, Karen. I'm working on getting your box together. Hopefully I'll get it out to you Monday or Tuesday. Like I said, don't forget up and under.
She says awesome.
I love all the colors. And we may use all of this lavender stuff. Because we may have some coming out from the bow right there.
Karen says her birthday's Monday, so it'd be like opening a birthday gift.
Let's see, our daughter-in-law's is today. Y'all, I think we have like 13 family members whose birthday's in March. Our daughter-in-law's is today. Our grandson's is, it's the 8th, whatever day that is. That's also the day I had my heart attack last year, so I can always remember that. And my sister's is the 9th. My other sister's is the 15th, and so is my sister-in-law's. What else? Emma's, one of our granddaughters, is the 23rd, and another granddaughter's is the 29th, and March is full of birthdays for us. Okay, let's see where I can put all these other little sprigs. That's 2, but I may do 2 together.
Karen says, so your heart attack was on my birthday?
Is your birthday is Monday the 9th? I mean the 8th? Is it? Yeah, it was the 8th. It was a Sunday morning. And that's why I said, I just remember because it was my grandson's birthday. Got him out of church. But hey, I'm doing good, and I praise God for that. I go back to see my heart doctor, I believe it's the 22nd or something like that, and I'm praying that he'll release me. Since it's been a year, I need cataract surgery, and he won't okay it till it's been a year. Okay. All right. I don't have those glued in yet, and I have to cut my tails. But so far, and I think I probably, now that I pick it up, I'm going to go back and add something right here. And put some more greenery around the bow, but I can do that later. So basically y'all get the idea, and I think that's about it. While I'm sticking these on here, I can tell you that next week, Tuesday night, I think we're going to do some magnolia design. I'm going to show you some really cute Easter decor and show you the ink, show you how to use the ink, and just give you some of the, there's a white one I missed. Show you some of the different things that you can do with the magnolia designs. We'll probably do that Tuesday and Friday, actually. And I'm going to have to think of the giveaway. I probably will make a little sign and give it away. Okay. Go up here.
Karen says, cool, I love the stencils.
I do too. I've had a really good time with them. I have so many different boards and stuff in there, and I just got in a bunch of new stencils that I'm waiting to try. Alright, that does need something up and under there, but I will get that after I hang it up outside, out in the utility room. And then I will go back and trim, you know, do my dovetail my tails, either curl them or leave them down, cut off the wire and the thing from the bow, and clean up the back and all that. And I will, I'll post a picture of it when I'm finally done with it. But I think I'm at the point that this is probably where I would just walk away, because my back is hurting, and just come back and look at it tomorrow and add things where I need to add them. I'm not going to glue in those yet because I may move them around when I put some greenery in there with them. So I think I have everything glued in, and like I said, the bows you would just, now I have done them to where I've left these long, and you can like make it look like it's coming, you know, it's got a loop and coming out. There's a lot of different things you can do, but I probably will just dovetail these and curl them a little bit. So that's how I make a grapevine wreath. And it's not finished, I know, but I have kept y'all for way over an hour. And I really, and it's a Friday evening, I appreciate y'all being on here.
Teresa Hughes says it's beautiful, thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. I think it's pretty. Like I said, when you hold it up straight, even when you get those fixed, you can see there's some emptiness right here. But I've got plenty of greenery, and I may, you know, go back and add some stuff here. Basically what I do is I hang it up and look at it. I want it to be balanced. And if it's not, then I fill in the spots where it needs it.
Joanne Oldham says it's very pretty.
Hi, Joanne. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, y'all. Okay, hand me the bunnies and the eggs so I can show those again. This is our giveaway for tonight. Anybody who, S-H-A-R-E, I can just show them right here. This is the bunny, and I've already painted it white for you, so you can paint it, stencil it, put scrapbook paper on it, so you'll get the bunny and the egg. And you can paint them a different color or do what you want to do with them.
Those are personally cut.
Yeah, Ed cut these. Can you believe that? Give him a thumbs up. He did a good job. Now, he did tell me these little bunnies were a pain in the you-know-what. He didn't know he'd do any more. And I haven't put my sets on the Etsy store yet. I probably will next week when I can get some pictures of them. But I basically just put scrapbook paper on one side, put a little tail on it, and stenciled the other. And then just put scrapbook paper and a stencil on the other. But anyway, that's the freebie, so we will draw for those Tuesday. And Jeannie won the freebie for tonight. I will get that in the mail to her. And Jeannie, if you're watching or watching the replay, I will see if I can find you a marshmallow dice or two to stick in there for you. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. Thanks a lot for joining, and we will see you Tuesday at 6:30. Have a great